Let's get one more round of applause for those filmmakers who are here with us tonight. Let's go ahead and get them up on stage here. Let's introduce Ryan Napper, Jake Lamans, Nick Napper, and Eric Hyde. Guys, come on up. They are Vativ Media. There we go. Thank you. Excellent. Well, the first thing that we're going to do when you guys are here is we're going to get you a little to talk a little bit about your different roles in the film. Ryan, we'll probably start with you since we got you on screen for a little while. I can't see anything right now because I looked at the light. But Ryan, let's start with you and just what was everybody's roles in making this film happen?
Well, thanks. I'll let them talk for themselves, but I was in charge of writing and narrating the film.
All three of us were cinematographers and editors on the film.
Perfect. And I guess the first question I had, and we will take some questions from the audience here in just a second, so if you've got one, be thinking of it and be ready. But how did you guys find the story, or how did this story find you?
Yeah, thanks so much.
Yeah, so Ryan here was living on the reservation for over a year and a half when he started reaching out to myself, Nick, and Jake, just basically telling us, guys, there's a story that needs to be told here. Ryan worked on the Sioux YMCA reservation at the camp and just was seeing day to day what was going on the reservation and told us for months, you gotta come by, we need to make a film about what's going on at the reservation. And after a couple months of planning, we made it happen, and pretty special story.
Definitely, and we really appreciate you guys sharing it with us here. And these guys, again, came down, 3 of them from California, 1 of them from Michigan. They flew from California and drove from Michigan, so we appreciate you guys being here. But as you're putting the film together, let's talk about the topic first, and then we'll get into the filmmaking aspect. But what did you learn about this topic as you guys put this film together that really stuck with you?
Yeah. I think what it taught us is that stories have a lot of importance that we typically don't understand. Native American culture is traditionally passed down through the generations orally, which means for the longest time there was no written record of any Native American traditions, cultural events, anything of that nature. And I thought that when we wanted to go and do this film, it was important for us to tell the story from their point of view, not ours, because we couldn't do it justice. Only they could. So the storytelling aspect to me was absolutely critical and taught me a lot being on the reservation as a whole. So.
Excellent. Yes, thanks. And I said thanks. These guys did all the work. But so as you're putting it together, what did you learn on the filmmaking side? You guys had some fantastic drone footage from up high, beautiful scenery. What did you guys learn on the filmmaking side in putting this project together?
Yeah, so we had a drone and a couple minor cameras, but what we realized was it wasn't the super technical stuff we need for filmmaking. We went on the reservation with minor equipment, no budget, knowing that if we just listen to the natives and tell their story, none of that mattered. And that's what we went for, and yeah, we ended up happening. No budget.
Excellent. Has anybody got any questions out there for our filmmakers? I've got a couple more. Does anybody have? Yes, in the front. You'll have to speak up so I can hear you. Thank you. Well, while they're getting that question taken care of, what was the biggest challenge as you're putting this together? Because I know that when you're probably shooting, you've got a ton of footage. You got to cut it down to 15 minutes. I'm sure there were logistical challenges. What were some of the challenges you guys ran into along the way?
Yeah, it was just kind of like boiling down the story that we wanted to tell. I mean, we shot interviews that we didn't even end up using. Like Jake said, from a technical standpoint, we just had kind of limited resources and went out and captured what we captured and kind of had an idea of what we wanted to tell, but then in post kind of things change and you kind of find a groove and then end up just rolling with that. So yeah, it was a fun experience.
Cool. Let's get to our audience questions, and if you have any more, let me know. But did you have a question? We got to step this way.
What's
So
next?
do you guys have any other projects in mind, or where are you headed next?
So we want to continue telling stories that are impactful and often rarely told. And so the story that we were planning on tell in June of 2019 actually was about paganism in Lithuania. And we were going to go over there and we were going to go and visit communities that were living in the forest, and we were going to have their story be told about a religion and a culture that was, you know, starting to fade off. And unfortunately, COVID kind of got in the way, but we're planning on picking that story back up in 2022. So stay tuned.
We look forward to hearing that one and everything else that you guys have in store. These guys are Vativ Media. We appreciate them coming all the way here to Chattanooga. For 3 of them, it's their first trip to the city. They've had a good time. So thank you guys once again. Let's give them a big Chattanooga round of applause for being here. Thank y'all. We've got 4 more films to show. We're going to go for about 45 more minutes. We appreciate everybody being here. Make sure to say hello to these guys and tell them, show your appreciation for them telling this story to all of us tonight. Thanks for being here. We'll be here every night for the rest of Nightfall, and then we'll be back in the Tivoli in January. So thank you guys for being here.